Main factors that affect the cost of paving a driveway. Right off the get-go, I think some people are surprised when they have a really small driveway and it's expensive. There's a couple things I'll say to that. For one, unfortunately nowadays everything's expensive. And two, I think most people understand it when they see our crews show up to do the work. It doesn't matter if the driveway is 1,000 feet long or 16 feet wide and only 40 feet long. It's the same amount of equipment that has to show up. It's expensive trucks, expensive trailers, and that's just the grading side. There's skid steers, pavers. It doesn't matter how big your job is. There's just all this equipment that has to mobilize. So small driveways, there's just kind of a minimum charge to go to work. As far as the stuff that people can control, if you have a driveway paved thicker than normal, or let's say you're in an area with soils that we just know are going to be troublesome, there's times where or you have soil, or you have an area where you know you have rough soil and you're going to maybe have some out of the ordinary traffic. There's a guy down the road from us, really bad soil to work on, and he has a garbage truck and a recycling truck drive up his driveway every week. That's a job that you would consider installing in what we'd call 2 lifts. That can build you a substantially stronger driveway, but it's a pretty big cost adder because you're now tearing a driveway out, installing a first lift at 2 inches, and then coming back and repaving the whole driveway again. So you're paying for material and labor twice. That's a big cost adder. You get a lot of strength out of it, but you pay for it. 2 lift is, I think people are really common with it because they drive on a highway or even a residential road and they'll see them putting in small layers of asphalt. When you can do those small layers and build up a thickness, you get a better product, but at a cost. Tight drainage can be another thing that can add cost to a driveway. When you have a driveway that is very, very flat, or maybe the water has to come down and turn and go another way, it's not just a straight shot from the garage to the street. It takes a lot more manipulation. It's not necessarily that we're using more product or anything, it takes more time. The guys doing the grade work have to spend more time and be a lot more precise. And then the guys that are paving, they just take more time. They have to work slower because that paver moves. And then there's a guy behind the paver checking with a level and making adjustments. And then the paver moves again. It just slows everything down. And time is money. So that's the unfortunate thing. If you have one of those scenarios where you have a water issue, you can expect the cost to show that. Anybody that comes in, if you have a driveway that, I think the majority of the time homeowners will know, like, hey, I've always dealt with this puddle, or hey, when it rains, I'm walking through bird baths all over, or whatnot. I think homeowners, usually when you say, hey, do you have a water issue? Most of the time they're like, yeah, we do. If you're one of those people and you get a handful of bids and typically what you'll hear is one guy will come in way cheaper than the rest. And homeowners do call and they kind of talk to you about their quotes, and you say, well, did you talk about these issues that we talked about? And they'll go, well, no, he never brought it up. Maybe that guy is going to do an excellent job and not leave those issues for a whole nother driveway. Or maybe he overlooked them and you're going to tear an old driveway out that had issues and have a new driveway that has issues. I would hope that's not the case, but Unfortunately, we get calls at times to repair stuff that somebody maybe overlooked that. Other key factors that affect pricing, really only other ones are, if you live on a 55 mile an hour road and there's no parking, or and it just creates a hazardous workplace, again, that's going to slow us down. If you're in an alley where it's really hard to get our trucks in, it's very common to work in an alley, and then not only is it hard to get into the job, it takes a lot longer to get them in. You have to park on the street, drive around the block with the equipment, get it in. And then you go to get in there and you try to back one of your trucks into your paver, and you can't put the box up in the air because there's overhead power lines. Again, we can do it, but it takes a job that is usually pretty small and makes it take as long as 4 normal sized driveways. So any contractor is going to have to recoup those costs, and that's why you pay more. So like overhead lines, trees in the way. If you have major soil, like let's say we show up and your whole driveway is just full of spots that are all alligator cracked, and you're like, man, there's going to be a lot of soil correction here. That'll be something that it costs more money, but do it. Don't skimp on your base work. If your contractor digs it up and they say, hey, it's full of clay everywhere, you gotta correct that issue, because a new driveway is going to look like an old driveway really fast if you don't have good base work.